All right. So, greetings. My name is Rodrigo Calero. My partner's name is
Juan
Mr.
Pablo
Partner.
Malaver.
Yeah. And our topic is Slaughterhouse 5, written by Kurt Vonnegut. And now we're going to explain the process in which we made our essay. Mr. Juan Pablo, stage is for you.
Okay, good afternoon here. First of all, our thesis statement is Warp psychologically marks those in the front lines and how Kurt Vonnegut reflects this in Slaughterhouse 5. Okay, so we can go ahead with the topic sentence. The first one is Vonnegut's perspective on the reading of the book and its possible interpretations.
Now, the next topic sentence will be Billy Pilgrim's situation of being unstuck in time is similar to how war veterans end up trapped in the memory of a traumatic event. We base this paragraph on the assumption, on the fact that most of his time jumps are centered around this time in the war, but we'll talk more about that later. The third topic sentence will be the language used by Billy Pilgrim mirrors the sensitization of ex-combatants due to the traumatic experiences. And this is something that we had already written in our previous draft of the essay, but we have to narrow it down because there were too many sentences. So we're going to focus more on the so it goes motif that is used there. Now let's go on to the essay. Our topic is War Leaves No Unscathed Trooper. We decided to use this title because it has a big impact on the person on the people when they read it like this. It's making this separation and this statement that war has a toll on everybody that's there. Now, our introduction is made in a funnel. Well, it's using a funnel type of introduction. We first begin by giving these general examples here of the several consequences that happen in war. And then we make a contrast of and saying that these consequences in particular, that are the mental scars, is different because, like, while some of them are remain on the battlefield, mental scars stay with the persons, with the ex-combatants, with the veterans. And then we establish that Kurt Vonnegut, in his book Slaughterhouse 5, mm, touches these topics slightly. All right, so then we have the first paragraph.
Okay, so the first paragraph is about the first topic sentence that is Vonnegut's perspective on the writing of the book and its possible interpretations. Okay, so Slaughterhouse 5 book has an interesting and very peculiar way of development because in its writing, the author made the first and the last paragraph in first person, but in the rest of the chapters are written in third person as an omniscient narrator. Okay, so our intention with this paragraph is to talk about two possible ways of interpreting this, and then come to a conclusion. And because this conclusion is that this was a little literally device that Vonnegut used to reflect the war conflict and in a very specific way.
Okay, so after finishing this, we start with the second body paragraph, and here we make a quick, I will call it a reference to what it was said in the first body paragraph, in which Vonnegut seems to be disconnected or has some issues seeing the things that happen in the world clearly. Just like how his main character in the book has this type of problem being in the same time frame as usual. We go and we establish that this is comparable to the dissociative disorders that many war veterans tend to experience after this. I forgot to add it, like we didn't add this part, but it said that 18% of war veterans have any of this type of disorders, and we support this dissociative disorder meaning with this quote from the National Alliance on Mind Illness. Then we give like the reason why we think this is shown in the book by talking about some of the parts of the book in which this happened, and then we make a final comparison on how this example reflects on life. Third, we will jump into the third and final body paragraph in which we're making a contrast. While in the second body paragraph we were talking about a really active consequence from the war, like that's this disorder that is really showable, like you can see it like with at first sight. There's this more passive effect on these people that are the desensitization of the war veterans. We use another quote here from the Sage Encyclopedia of War that it's making a statement on what is desensitization on a war perspective. And then we establish how this also happens in the book by using the phrase "and so it goes." We then explain the importance of this phrase within the book and in how this reflects on the life of those outside of it. Making the quick notion of what are transformadorians, that are the aliens who are in the book, for those that may have not know, and there are a peculiar ability of seeing all time at the same, well, all time at once. Then that will lead us to the concluding paragraph.
Well, then in the conclusion paragraph, we first basically give the reader to understand that that was all, and then we make a little summary of what the whole say was, and finally we express what we think about the intention of the book. And well, that's all. I thought that it was a good way to close the job, leaving these messages. Okay? And well, basically, above um, is the bibliography from where we learn a little to do this work. And basically, that's all. Thank you very
And
much
that,
for the attention, teacher.
yeah, and that will be it. So, without further ado, thanks for listening to us and have a nice morning, afternoon, night. Uh, maybe, this can be later cut off.